Okay. All right.
Hey,
There
we're
we are.
live.
We are live. There's
Live as can
Mikey
be.
together with Mikey and Vinnie. Michael Knight, New York, Vinnie. Here back with you on Monday. On a beautiful Monday. I don't know what it is down there, but it's gorgeous here.
It's overcast. It has been for the last couple of days. We haven't had sun. We've had just a little bit of rain every day, and chilly temperatures. Can't get out of the 60s.
Well, I spent the day at the beach yesterday, so up on Deception Pass, Whidbey Island. Deception Pass
Very
State Park,
nice.
gorgeous up there, and it was nice to just sit out and first I was at Washington Park, which looks out on the passage between Whidbey and mainland, and sat there and fell asleep on the beach, and it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful. It's there's certain cars that you drive, and you get in this car and you get in the back seat. There, it's a van, and it's got a relaxing back seat with a headrest, and the thing folds back into like almost a bed, and you sit in that thing, and the next thing you know, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Wow. Well, the answer to the question is Pelican.
Oh, a pelican. Oh, that question. Well, we didn't. The people that are listening don't know the question because they weren't
Well,
with us.
now they got the answer. They can give me the question. Pelican is the
Right.
answer. What's the
They
question?
were playing Jeopardy. Well, we were talking about Alcatraz and
There you
the island that sits there in San Francisco Bay, an island that I have never been to, and because was taught a long time ago that Italians
go.
will not pay to go to jail.
Should stay off the rock.
Well, you don't pay to go to jail. So if somebody wants to give me a ticket or take me over there for free, I'm happy to go. But as far as paying to go to jail, not in my
Ain't gonna
constitution.
happen.
Do it.
I think that's wise. Plus, with the administration we have right now, once they get you on Alcatraz, who's to say they're going to let you off the Pelican?
Well, again, it's a long line in just outrageously idiotic ideas that this administration or this president, never mind the administration, but the president continues to blurt out.
Well, over the weekend, we got a chance to reinvade Greenland. He threatened Greenland with now an invasion if they don't comply with his needs to make it a 51st state. And they have to hurry because Canada can make you the 51st state, and then Greenland's going to be 52. How are they going to feel about that?
Well, they're going to get, and then Puerto Rico is going to declare war on both of them because they want to be the 51st state. Although I got to
They've got
tell
the
you,
paper towels.
probably come up with about 10 states here on the mainland of the United States that would gladly give them up. Let them be the 51st state. As a matter of fact, let them be the 47th and the 48th and the 49th and the 50th.
That's their attitude these days.
Well, Hawaii wants out. Hawaii has said for a long time that they'd like to go back to being an independent country.
A kingdom.
The kingdom that they're, that they'd like to get out. I'm sure you can come up with.
They've seen a few tourists come over there. They've seen it's not going to get any better. It's not going to get any worse. Let's just go on. They'll go it on their own.
Yeah, I mean and they would probably make more money. They would probably do better from renting what the federal government took over as kind of land as stuff that became federal land that they were paying rent for before to the Kingdom of Hawaii, Pearl Harbor and all of those parks and everything like that. I mean, it's probably be a financial boon for a Kingdom of Hawaii, and they wouldn't have to live under United States law. They could make up their own stuff as it goes along. Now,
they were for a while the territory of Hawaii, and they were for a while the Kingdom of Hawaii. So they want to go back a little further.
I could only imagine what the tariffs that would be imposed on Hawaii by a Trump administration, but it would take it would take so much more time now for
So
them to
suntan,
from the
it's
union.
called the suntan tariff.
Whatever they call it, man, I don't think it's going to happen, or at least not in our lifetimes. Who knows? I mean, I've learned to never say never anymore with
Well,
what's
what
going on.
happens? What do you think will happen first? The Gaza hotel, the Gaza Trump hotel, or the
Gaza
hotel slash prison
Hotel is
Alcatraz?
the Gaza Hotel is the same thing as Alcatraz being activated as a prison. It's a pipe dream. This guy, this president, must sit around all day and diddle with his dick while he plays with his phone. There's,
That's going to take all day right there.
well, you just get to a point where you look at what he's doing, and you say to yourself, what's in this guy's brain? Is there anything in it? Now,
Triscuits, actually.
over the weekend,
Ever seen partial Triscuits at the bottom of a Triscuit box? Little flagrant.
I don't think he has that much, Michael. I think he's gone. I'm starting to subscribe to the people that think that he's not running anything. That
he got dropped on his head bone.
Miller and Steve Bannon and all of those people that are running things.
Oh yeah, yep.
And then he's just a front man, and we lived through that before. We know how that book ends.
It ain't pretty for anybody.
And it's all you need to see is go back.
The madness of the king.
Yeah, the last couple of years of the Reagan administration.
They were a little short on content.
Yeah, to see what happens when you let other people be in charge, and you just sit there and become the front man.
There are means to take a president like that out of office, but they have not been often.
Well, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen here. I don't think you're going to have. I don't think you have enough.
Oomph in the poomph.
What am I looking for? What's the word I'm looking for? I don't think you have enough balls from not just Republicans, but I think there's some Democrats that don't have the balls to do that. They think that they would throw the country into a crisis.
Well, balls don't count for anything. You got to have votes.
That Vance would not be ready for something to be the president of the United States. You certainly don't want Mike Johnson as the president of the United States. So you're kind of stuck, at least until, at least until the midterms. You're stuck with what you got. And who knows where this is going to go? I mean, there's so many things that you can pick apart about this. It seems like every week there's two or three more. It's not even. It's almost like it's a joke. It's almost like it's
a terrible joke.
It's not.
We got to stick some of this with the founding fathers. They didn't protect us from the Mad King like they thought they did. They didn't protect us from anybody taking over the government like they thought they did. There's holes in it as big as the Titanic for takeover and for abuse.
They thought that the people that were in charge of things would have the nerve to do something. But unfortunately, the people that are in charge haven't had the nerve to do anything.
There's no check and no balance.
Yeah, the people that run, the Mitch McConnells of the world and the Kevin McCarthys of the world, who had an opportunity to straighten this out, didn't. Wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't go near it.
It was untouchable.
No, it was touchable. It was touchable.
Um,
It was easily
not to
touchable.
them.
You could
Not to a
after
Republican. Republicans got no.
this guy like a used piece of paper. But instead, McCarthy went down there and kissed his ring, and McConnell refused to do anything. All of the talk about, I mean, this is a guy. This is a guy that called his wife a racial slur, and he didn't do anything about it.
Not even a raised eyebrow.
Plenty of opportunity to do something about Donald Trump a long time ago. And not only did they not do anything about Trump, but they also backed the re-election of him. Get him back in office.
Get him in there. Get him in there. We'll figure it out later.
Horrible.
Get him another bite at the poison apple.
So it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. And
it's a terrible, terrible mess.
When you hear the things that he says, you just scratch your head. Now, you know, I wanted to be insulted about the Pope thing. I don't know if you saw that over the weekend, where he himself
I saw the picture.
Tweeted out a picture of Donald Trump as Pope. But I got
he thinks he's got the votes.
I would give up. I would let him be the Pope if it meant him getting the hell out of America. If it meant him, you know, going over to Italy and sitting in the Vatican and being in charge of basically nothing, I'd have no
What's with
problem
all this pasta? Where's my burger? Where's my McDonald's?
Yeah, let him go. But the fact that you know, again, here's a guy who tweets this stuff out himself. It's not like somebody's doing it and making a meme here or something and sending it. He's sitting there doing this stuff himself.
Do you think he's going to go for the custom-made red shoes or go with the white?
Who knows what he's going to do, Michael? It's such a joke. It's so embarrassing to our country.
It's so frustrating and demeaning.
Embarrassing to humanity.
Yep. That's just what it is. Humanity recoils in reaction to this guy. And poor Greenland. How is the Greenland army? Are they known for anything?
I don't think so.
I bet they know the territory.
Do they even have an army, or are they protected by
Denmark?
Denmark. And by NATO. That'd be an interesting one. Have one NATO member attacking another. Tell him what Trump wants to do with Greenland.
Well, you mean today? It could be different tomorrow.
I don't know. I mean, does it? What you said before?
While he was explaining other things this weekend, he made a veiled attack, saying that they didn't get into line and comply with his wishes, there would be a military solution to the Greenland problem. An invasion is what he had in mind.
If he's sitting around his office, okay, he's sitting around here, and him and the boys are eating hamburgers.
That's what happens.
And they're scarfing down their quarter pounder deluxe. And they say, all right, we've given Greenland every opportunity. It's time now that we make a move. So what's the move they're going to make?
Just an occupation. It's nothing too draconian. It's been done before over the centuries. Oh, guys with whoever's got the parkas, whatever army division has got the warmest clothes, we'll send them.
So you think that? So do you think that? I mean, because here's the thing that I you know, the question in my mind comes down to: you're going to need a whole lot of people who are 17 to 31 years old to get in a plane, go over to Greenland, get off that plane, and probably walk into some kind of attack, some kind of deadly attack. I don't think the greenies are going to sit there and just watch this all happen. Somebody's going to pick up a gun somewhere.
Oh, I hope so.
Somebody's going to pick up some kind of weapon and start blowing other people up. It happens in every war. I haven't seen one yet. It doesn't. So you're going to do all of this stuff. Who's going to have the stomach? I mean, do you think that if Donald Trump says, I want to attack Greenland next Monday, that people are going to be running down to the recruiting station in Times Square and lining up?
Some will.
Who?
You betcha.
Who? I mean, as sick and as crazy as we are, who would he get to go and fight Greenland, to go and take over a country like that?
And when they completed their mission, they can come home and be a part of his birthday parade. The Greenland Fusiliers, we'll call them.
I mean, I just find it. I find it. I got a friend, big Trump guy. Big Trump guy. He even went to the convention in Milwaukee and the whole deal. He's got 4 sons.
My 4 sons?
All of them in their 20s and early 30s. Do you think he's going to let any of his sons or any of his sons are going to go and lay down their lives to take over Greenland?
We hope we can do it without firing a shot, but you know how these things go. Once you planning is all, but once the attack begins, all bets are off.
I mean, to invade a country, you got to be prepared to die. To take over another country, you got to be prepared to die. It's that simple. It's been in the books for as many years as they've been writing books.
Since the War of the Roses.
Before that.
Yep, way before that.
With Caesar, with whatever you go through any time in history. And whether they got there in Trojan horses or in tanks or in fighter jets, if you want to take over somebody else's piece of land, you got to be prepared to die.
Someone's going to go down. It could be you.
And I don't see my friend who has the 4 sons sending any one of his sons to go die to take Greenland.
Well, to be a Trump supporter, you got to stand up and say, take them all. Take all my kids. Take what you need. I'll wait here for you.
And that's what I want to see. That's what I want to see, the rubber hit the road. You want to take over Greenland? You think this guy has got a good idea? Start using your kids. Start sending your kids off to war. I know I'm not sending mine.
After many years of using the phrase Cold War, this is going to be a really Cold War.
Yeah, no, this isn't going to be a Cold War. If you want to take over Greenland, something tells me that you're going to have to bring guns. And you're going to have to bring bombers. And you're going to have to, and no matter how powerful you are, some people are going to die.
So we can use the weapons we were going to give to Ukraine against the Greenlanders.
And you think while we're going to march into Greenland, the Russians are just going to sit there and say, oh, well, they're going to be next door. We may as well get out the welcome wagon. Vodka and borscht for everybody. Is it going to work like that?
And it's cold. I don't like being cold.
Yeah. So, to me, it's all just a bunch of bullshit. It's all just a bunch of opening your mouth and writing a check out with with your mouth that your body is never going to be able to cash.
Well, what about the tariffs? He could. He's forgotten about them. He never fleshed them out. He never figured it out. He never. This whole thing about taxing 100% on the cost of a movie, based on where it was made, can hardly be enforced. They don't know who they're going to tax. The movie maker.
Or it should be who stars in the movie. If you don't like, the star of the movie, if they're a little too left for you,
put Kusei in it.
On that basis.
Eric Trump always wanted to be an actor. You got a whole family not doing anything. Let them be in a movie.
What, those stiffs? No, they're not doing anything. Every day they're robbing people and making their coffers richer. This family's $50 billion richer now than they were when they took office. It's only 100 days. They're stealing everything they can. They're stealing every dime they can possibly steal.
Be best.
Yeah, well, somebody's got to be best at being a thief. So that's what they're doing. You know, people say, people that email me and ask me and say, well, why are you always ranting about this? Because I can't believe that we're letting this happen.
We're willingly going along with it.
There's not a lot that we can do about it.
See what I mean? There's another hole in the Constitution.
Yeah, there's not a lot you can do about it. He's a duly elected president. I mean, he is elected. And so,
by the Dooleys.
By the Dooleys. And the Schwartzes and the Iaconis and, several ethnic groups. So you got to live with it. But
are the Iaconis still in sales for General Motors?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But, I mean, between this and everything that surrounds Veterans Day and all the bullshit that's now going on around that's just making me sick. I mean, with everything else that's going on, just when I think that this guy can't make me any sicker, can't disgust me anymore, he comes up with something else. Now he wants to use Veterans Day to divide us. Now he wants to have a Veterans Day for World War II, a Veterans Day for World War I. What do we need a Veterans Day for each war? What do we do for the wars that we lost?
Like the Korean War, the Vietnam War.
Well, Korean and Vietnam, you can't say that we won the desert, Afghanistan and Iraq and all those. We didn't win those. I think the only thing we won was the first Iraq, the Desert Storm, right?
The famous Biff Chiggerman War.
Yeah, the Biff War. Other than that, what did we win since World War II?
There was the Saddam Hussein trying to take over Kuwait. Remember that?
Yeah. Well, that's Desert Storm. So that's what we won. That's what we beat. That's what we beat. Do you think that the people that came back from that with one arm or one leg or with half of their heads blown off want to go out and celebrate that?
Maybe not today. Ask me for next year.
I mean, they want to be remembered. They want to be respected, but you want to celebrate people. Make sure they get the right medical attention that they need. Make sure that they get the right benefits that they're entitled to.
That would be great. They should have like a Veterans Administration to look into that.
I love it when I drink caffeine in the morning.
You know who is lucky is the good people of Panama, because Trump's forgotten about them. He started off with all Panama this, Panama that. We're going to take the whole thing back. He forgot completely about it.
He'll be back. He didn't forget. Well, see, it's not him doing it though. It's again, you're looking at Stephen Miller and all of those clowns. It's not Trump doing it. They're not going to forget. They're flooding the zone. They're flooding the zone, trying to come up with as much bullshit as they can come up with, and they're making things. They're giving people something else to fear every day. That's all they're doing, is giving people something else to fear every day.
Makes me want to close my eyes and go back to sleep.
Well, I was watching an interview with John Meacham. I think you know who he is, the presidential historian.
Yep.
And Mr. Meacham says that everything that's going on is clearing away, and he's the first person I've heard say this. Everything that's going on is clearing away for President AOC in 2028.
You think she's got the inside track?
Well, that's what he seems to think. He seems to think that the pendulum will not swing back toward the center, but swing the other way. Now, I don't know that I 100% see AOC as being the candidate, but I certainly see a scenario where she is
likely to win.
I'm not sure that I agree with that. I'm not sure that I go all the way to as far left as she does. And I don't know that the Democrats should go that far left. I think
they have to go far enough to the center to put things back where they were.
Well,
a lot
of
fixing to be done, right?
Centrism in this country. It's one of the things that we're going to need is people who don't want to get too outrageous on either side, but they can come to compromises and can come to try to do what's good for the country and the people of the country, as opposed to what's good to line their pockets. But we may not have anybody there that can do that by the time this
Republicans aren't interested in what's good for the country. They're no longer involved in that, and that's seeking that as an ideal. That's not part of their game. They don't really give a bloody fuck.
No, I don't think they do. And again, the Democrats aren't jumping up and rallying the band either. I mean, tell me, again.
So do you blame the Republicans for what they're actually doing, or you blame the Democrats for not having the votes to stop them?
I blame everybody, Michael. I blame everybody.
I don't blame everybody, because everybody's not responsible. So that's a waste of time to blame everybody.
Well, I don't see the Democrat. I don't know what the Democrats could be doing better, but it just doesn't seem like they're getting people enthusiastic. Now, maybe this thing of going out and doing these rallies will get people, pumped up. But right now, I see a fairly lethargic bunch of people sitting there whining about about nothing, about what can't be done, myself included. Maybe some people are going to start to stick their heads up, and maybe somebody's going to stand up and become a bold leader. But I don't know that Bernie Sanders and AOC are the ticket for 2028.
Well, right now they're not running for anything. They're like the focus of the anti-oligarchy movement, which is a little wordy, but there you have it.
Well, next year it kind of starts in earnest, doesn't it?
I think it
I mean,
started
really,
already.
you gotta have your ducks in a row for the midterms. I'm sure that there are people out there raising money right now, and hopefully it's going to become crystal clear, or at least clearer, who the stars are going to be in the Democratic Party.
I wonder if there'll be room for new people.
Well, it's going to have to be. The old ones, half of them are going to be dead by the time things roll around. I mean, who are they going to lead? Does Hakeem Jeffries excite you?
Actually, he does inspire me, but he hasn't got a leg to stand on right now.
He doesn't excite me, though. He doesn't get me. The Democrats need a Trump. The Democrats need somebody that they can get behind. That, because say what you want about Trump, he gets people moving. And that's something I think they need. They need somebody who can rally the party and get them to buy into one message, and that message be the one.
Careful that your solution is not to fight Trump with another Trump. What we need is a Trump. We've got one, and one is plenty. You don't need two.
Well, you need somebody who is going to capture the imagination of people and get them to vote, to do something about what's going on.
They have to vote. You're right about that.
He gets people to do stuff. He gets people to vote. He gets people to come out and rally.
He gets people to go to El Salvador, not necessarily of their own. It wasn't their idea, but they went anyway.
Well,
let's see what he can get Greenland to do.
He's not going to, I don't think he's going to get, again, I think he's just a ton of bullshit. He's not going to get anybody to do anything. Like I said, when the rubber hits the road, do you think that if he calls up one of the generals and says, get your Third Army and start moving them toward Greenland, that they're going to go?
And how they're going to go? He's going to need the Navy and the Air Force, and it's going to take quite a. Greenland is a little further away than you think.
That if he gets on the phone and says to his generals or his chief of staff, prepare an attack on Greenland, do you think that any general is going to obey him?
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to. It's a scary thing. I hope it never comes to pass, but I'm not so sure.
I would like to think that cooler heads would prevail, but I'm not so certain that that's what's going on in the Pentagon these days. The cooler head guys have been fired, and they just got loyalist Trump agitators in their place, wearing the uniform of our nation.
I would hope that people would turn out in huge numbers. And in no uncertain terms to stop any kind of foolishness like that. I mean, I don't know for sure. You're right. Nobody knows for sure what would happen. I don't know. Some idiot sitting here by a computer screen. We don't know what's going to happen. I just know that I don't think there's a big taste for sending our young people off to war.
Can we send Leon Husk?
No, they're not going to go to war, Michael. It's going to be like every other military action. You don't send the people that buy the material. You send their messengers. You send the people, the least of our society. You send the people that need a job.
Our trusted sons and daughters. Let them go.
Work, so they join the army. You get people to join the army because they can't. It's a way for them to get an education, or they join the Navy or the Space Force or whatever it is. That's probably the one you're going to want to join is the Space Force because that's the one where you get shot off the planet.
Tell North Face we're going to need parkas for everybody, white ones.
Yeah. Well, I think the Russians have a supply of them somewhere, don't they? A whole bunch left over from what was it, Barbarossa?
They have white jackets, but they're not parka style. We gotta make a fashion statement that we are impervious to the weather of Greenland. Aren't you guys cold? No, we're Americans. We're toasty in here.
Yeah. Yeah. We have what is it? North what is it? North Face? Yeah, we got North Face in Columbia. So we're good to go. We got our LL Bean stuff on.
Oh, that's a different gang. LL Bean gang against the North Face gang.
I just said I don't know.
By the way, over the weekend, Trump called the president of Mexico and told her that he wanted permission to put our troops in her country. And she said, no, thank you. None of your troops are welcome here. We're doing just fine without American troops in Mexico. But thanks for asking.
Yeah, I you know.
And he didn't even say what it was for. Just I want troops in your country just for I can't say why. I don't know why. Okay, but something's going to come up.
I believe that they wanted them to fight the cartels. I believe it was.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he wants to put them there just for the heck of parking them there. And he was surprisingly complimentary toward the Scheinbaum, right? The president of Mexico. He called her a wonderful woman.
Oh dear, that's so sad.
I'm almost afraid to think of what's on his mind.
You just can't wait to get her to Lord and Taylor in the dressing rooms.
So anyway, how'd the Giants do this weekend?
They won 3 out of 4.
Well, at least somebody did something. The Mets lost a doubleheader to the Cardinals yesterday.
Oy, that's tough.
Yeah, and the Mariners lost. They won on Saturday, but lost yesterday. So, but the Mariners are playing pretty good. The Mets all of a sudden have fallen into a little bit of a funk.
Winning changes everything. Just win, baby.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, they're still in first place in the East, and they're still, I think, 22-13, if I'm not mistaken. But they haven't gotten Soto to start really hitting the ball yet. I mean, there's still, but their pitching has been surprisingly good. Better than I think anybody expected it to be.
No major injuries that are cramping them.
Well, somebody just got hurt. Was it Nimmo or somebody just got hurt yesterday? I believe. I don't know if he's day to day or if he is going to go on the injured list. Can't call it the disabled list anymore. Now it's the injured list.
The IL, the IR.
IL. No more DL. Um, so yeah, so I guess he's I guess you know, seems like things are rolling along. I mean, they're playing about as everybody, all our teams seem to be playing about as good as you would expect.
I think the Giants are playing better than we expected, but now that they've played better than we expect them to play better.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they raised the bar. Now that they're playing like that, but what you always have to worry about with not just the Giants, but any team, is that they don't play too good too early, and all of a sudden they burn out in August. That's why
The dog day. The
part of why
June
we
swoon.
say again.
The June swoon.
Well, yeah, part of why we love baseball is because it's that 162 game season that equals everything out. And the teams that are rocking it right now could be dead in the water in August.
Dead and in the water. What are you going to do?
So I don't know. I don't, I want to see, I want to see the team, I'm especially with the Mets. I mean, listen, these are teams that blew leads. Well, the Mets were dead in the water in June and just hit the gas in June and just, raised himself up from the dead. The Mariners at this time last year, I think, were approaching 10 games up, and they blew a 10-game lead. The Giants, if I remember right, last year had nothing going for them.
No, they were 20 games out before they knew who their pitching staff was.
So, yeah, so the Giants are probably the best story right now. The Mets are one that's expected. We want to see that. And the Mariners are, let's give Dan Wilson a chance to see what he can do all year. But who is, why are the Mariners doing what they're doing? Why are they hitting the crap out of the ball all of a sudden when they couldn't hit the ball to save their lives even earlier this year? Is it Edgar Martinez? Is he that good a hitting coach?
I would like to think so.
Is it Dan Wilson's inspiration as a manager?
Is there a clubhouse leader? Is there a clubhouse leader bringing the team everywhere he goes on his back?
It doesn't seem to be right now. But again, I'm not close. I'm not covering the team every day, so I don't get a chance to really figure out who the clubhouse, who the real person is doing that. And
who's behind all this success? We don't even know.
There's always the guy that they point the finger at, and then there's the guy who actually does it. Everybody always pointed the finger at Ken Griffey Jr. He was the clubhouse leader. But it wasn't Ken Griffey Jr. at all. It hardly ever was. It was Buhner that was the real leader in the clubhouse. It was Buhner that ran the clubhouse.
The Kangaroo Court.
Yeah, he was the guy that ran things. Junior wasn't. So, who is that person now? I tend to, from what I hear, think that it's Cal Raleigh, the catcher, which would stand true to form because many people, many times look at the catcher as a team leader because they see the game.
General. Yeah.
They see the game. It's why they make good managers. So.
Well, to change the subject slightly, today's Cinco de Mayo. That is our wedding anniversary, 41 years with Mikey and Kristen.
41 years. Boy,
Yep.
congratulations. Happy anniversary.
Don't know what we're going to do. We're going to probably have dinner. Think it
Mexican
over.
food?
Mexican or Thai. That's about as California as you can get. Also,
Mexican
it was a
and
big
Thai.
weekend.
Together.
It was a big weekend for the family. Other than in addition to the anniversary, it was a big weekend for the family because our grandson Bo had his last game with his little league team, and they won. And he got 2 hits, and he played very well at first base. He's really catching the ball better. I think that's the measure of his growth as a little player, because he's 5 years old, is that he's a much better fielder than he was. One thing I've noticed about kids that age, they can try to catch the ball, but they don't seem to have any way of actually doing it. I have a mitt, I have a uniform, I see the ball, but it went right by me. What the hell happened there? But he's actually catching the ball these days.
Yeah, the measure of my growth when I was 5 years old, a 5-year-old player, was that I didn't piss in my pants on the field. That was
that's good too.
That was pretty.
That's a step forward.
That was a step forward, man.
And our granddaughter, 9-year-old Kennedy Quinn, Misha, had a big weekend where she played Maleficent in the Disney production of The Descendants stage production. She was the Wicked Witch, and had a great reception for her song. Don't you want to be evil like me? Don't you want to be bad? It was great to see her perform and slay 'em. She got big ovations, and it was a good production for this weekend. My sister came down from Marin. My sister Diana came down from Marin. She got me this hat in Paris. It refers to the French rugby team and their 15 years of victories. And right up here, you see a little teeny spot. You can hardly see it. That is a Chanticleer, a coq d'or, the golden rooster of French sports. So that's the explanation of my hat, which she picked up from me in Paris.
XV.
15.
Yeah. Or XV.
So that or XV, depending on where you were. What happened to the 15? That's not 15, it's XV. Oh, well, now I know. I didn't know. Who knew?
If you're
that's my report.
That's that's an XV there.
They're going to start voting on the Pope, but
15.
You should start getting ground balls if you're. What's that?
It's a dual interpretation.
Oh yeah, of course it is. Like everything else in this world.
No lie.
Like what does Trump really mean when he says he's going to invade Greenland? I don't know. I do not know. I don't know what he means when he says these things. I don't know what he really means. I'm waiting for him to start building the Hotel de Gaza.
Yeah, that's
Trump does that.
I don't think he'll ever see that.
I want to see him break ground on that.
It'll be a long time before we see that one happen. See, part of Trump's problem is this son of a bitch thinks he's going to live forever.
Chances are that won't happen.
And but I think that's his. That's part of his idea, is he thinks he's going to be around till he's 100. And I don't, maybe he will be. None of us can predict, but I wouldn't put him in the he'll be around till 100 category.
No, he looks a little worse for wear these days.
Especially if he wants to keep changing the name of Veterans Day. There's a lot of veterans he's going to upset by doing that. A lot of those veterans carry guns.
Well, also they're suckers. We've known that for a while.
Well, I don't know. I know that he thinks that. I know that he thinks that people who serve their country are suckers. Thank God I've never had that that thought.
You're not impervious.
I was always, you know, the concept of people, of public service and people serving their country selflessly was one that was always put into uh, my mind. You know, it was so funny. I remember when I watched one of the first times that I'd watched The Godfather, and one of the themes of The Godfather is you serve yourself, not your country.
Right. Don't
Uh,
mix
and
with the peasant Avanti.
right, and I talked to my father about that, and my father was the guy who went down and signed up, the day after Pearl Harbor. Matter of fact, he signed up when he was 16. They threw him out. He went back in, he got back in. He
Whoa.
always thought that was what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to go and serve your country.
Your duty to your nation.
Right. That there was a price to be paid for what we enjoyed here and the freedoms that we enjoyed here, and that was the deal.
In Greenland, they call it the never-ending winter.
I don't know. I've never been to Greenland. Love to go sometime, but I'd like to go before the United States takes it over and screws it all up. Why don't we want to take over Cuba? There's the thing that I want. All of this bullshit about take over this country, take over that country. We want to take over white countries. What about Cuba? Why don't we go and take them over? You want to go take somebody over?
The food's better.
You got
baseball. They got an infield.
You got a beautiful country that has an infrastructure that could be improved. You have a bunch of people that love Americans.
And you got the United Fruit Company.
Cuba, taking over Cuba. I guess they're afraid of the brown people.
And the United Fruit Company.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It really, you want to go help somebody out. You want to go do something for somebody. You want to go, add to the landmass of the United States. Well, add to it by taking some countries that you could help out.
I don't think Trump intends on helping anybody except himself.
No, you're 100% right. He's not going to help anybody. He's helping himself, and his kids are helping themselves now.
Yep.
I wonder if they elected him Pope, if he would actually take the job.
He doesn't know any Latin. He doesn't know how to do this. He doesn't know what that's all about.
Yeah. I don't think he has you got to have a good this to be Pope.
You need more guys in the Swiss Guard to put together the march for his birthday.
And you got to drink. You got to drink a lot of Italian Swiss colony wine.
And he's going to be busy on Sunday, so he's not going to be able to do that speech thing from the white chair. Can't do it. Got things to do. We'll be at Mar-a-Lago.
Otherwise, I'd say, go
let him have it.
Work on your this.
Work on your cross.
work on this, because you got to have a good this if you're going to become Pope. If you don't have a good this, you're not going to become Pope. By the way, I just thought of this. Let's see. I think I got it here somewhere. Where did it? Where it be gone? I thought I had it. I'm sorry.
What was it?
I took a picture of the Popener, but for some reason it didn't come out the right file for me to show you.
And who is it? John Paul?
Yeah. I found the Popener.
Will it open any Pope? Yeah, that'll open anything.
Well, it'll open a bottle. It's not a can opener. just a bottle opener, but let's see if I can get it out of the certified Vatican case.
Opener packaging, opener packaging, opener packaging, opener packaging, opener packaging. Yeah, you can say that 10 times.
Have you gone nuts, Michael?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Pope John Paul, he's a pope that can open.
Yeah, see, he's got the John Paul on one side, and
Rocky Palabito on the backside. Smokey Burgess, who is it?
That's the Vatican.
Oh, okay. Headquarters.
And that's JP too.
All right, let's open a beer over here.
So if you need a bottle opener, come see me. We'll open it with the Pope. Although there's a very edge on this thing. Oh. Almost cut myself on the Pope. One of the best presents I ever got. I swear, about out of all the little presents I've got in my entire life, my friend brought this for me from when she went to the Vatican, and it's one of the coolest presents I ever got. One of the most unique presents I ever got. I didn't know that there was a Pope in her.
Well, not every Pope is willing to open a bottle.
Called me from Italy when she was in Italy and says, "I'm coming home with a present for you from the Vatican that you won't believe." And I said, "Okay, can't wait to see it." And she was right. When she took that thing out of the bag, I didn't believe it.
Well, I wonder what else they have there in the Vatican gift store. We have T-shirts and little hats and.
Oh, I'm sure they got. Well, we saw the bobbleheads last week of Francis. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that they have just about everything that you would find in a regular gift shop. You know, scarves, towels. I'm sure they have prayer towels. You know, we never did get our prayer towels. Something that we should work on. Yeah.
We sent away for our copy and they never came. I think it was a bit of a scam.
We need prayer towels now more than ever.
Way more than ever.
Before it was a joke. Now it's a reality.
Well, Vinnie, I have to go get a chest x-ray for my upcoming surgery.
Yes, when is your upcoming surgery?
The 14th, May 14th.
Clock is ticking, pal. Get a chest x-ray. See if they'll give you a 2-for-1. Maybe they'll x-ray your head at the same time.
Not much. What do they expect to find? What would you find in there? The hell are you guys doing?
Look.
That's why we're looking. We don't expect to find
that closet, but I certainly want to open the door.
We don't expect to find anything. That's why we're looking.
All right. I'll see you Wednesday, man. If the Lord's willing, the creek don't rise.
See you then, Vin. Watch out for this crazy world we live in.
Love, checks, rays, and Manischewitz, man.
What a wine. See you, Ben.
Hey, Mikey. Thank you all for listening to it. We always appreciate it.
You do.